number 2 now for Duluth East, and that's got to be of concern. Here's Futh. Futh drops it back across into the slot. Nobody was home, and the Bears will take it out of the corner. Trying to center was Berger. Now down low. There's a quick shot up high and wide by Futh. Right point held in from there by Hansen. Now behind the goal. This is Futh to the right corner. Leaves it out the point. Hansen back down to the right corner. They cycle the puck. Berger had it knocked away at the left point. It'll be held in by Earhart. And now it's held back in. The Greyhounds having trouble clearing their own end. Finally out to center. They get it to Schumacher. He's wrapped up at the center red line. Gets some help from Rob W. Johnson, but it's whistled down in a stoppage of play. 2-1 White Bear Lake.
Duluth East, even though it looked like there was a lot of puck control, and there was by White Bear, the one thing they did real well, except when the defenseman Earhart slid in there, was maintain their position. White Bears throwing the puck around, but they weren't able to get a real good opportunity from the slot area after Earhart moved in from the point. So they've got to stay disciplined. That's what Duluth East did after that opportunity and got that puck out of the zone.
Tyler Johnson dumps it ahead for the Bears into the Greyhounds end of the rink. Back first is Colin Traxel. Now slips back to the opposite side. Fairchild on Hilpish. Bears try to walk out, but Fairchild takes it back to the corner. Cleared ahead now to center ice by the Greyhounds. Fired right back in. That went off the goaltender. Should have been offside.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
The right side is pushed back towards the goal there by Tyler Johnson. 18 minutes, Louis, since the last shot on goal for East. That's a huge concern to Coach Randolph.
Well, it's a good thing he's got his goaltender sharp in the net, because he's keeping him in the game thus far. Puck control, if you think it's 18 minutes without a shot, the puck control is even worse, because it doesn't seem like Duluth East has had any opportunities in the offensive zone with the puck.
They've got to feel fortunate to be in this hockey game being outshot that badly, and we get a whistle and a holding penalty coming up here. And we come back. A power play is next. White Bear Lake up 2-1 over Duluth East. This is high school hockey on 45.
This is Zach of Max Business Solutions, a real Quest customer. Max Business Solutions means maximum flexibility, because one moment they're streaming data to banks and the next their customers are calling on every phone line. Quest's integrated services can shift bandwidth to voice or data depending on minute-to-minute needs. So Max gets max efficiency. And if Max can,
you can too.
Call 800-242-5000. Quest has the voice and data solutions to help any size business grow. That's our spirit of service in action.
Greyhounds on the power play here. They almost put one in.
Well, that was the save of the game by Zach.
Wow.
Faust. It was really an outstanding play by him, because the puck's moved across laterally, and watch this, he's got to slide across as he's moving and makes a tremendous save on that play on the shot by Turnbull.
Third power play of the game, the first here in the second period for Duluth East, and a chance for them to try and tie it up. Getting a shot on goal was a huge feat right there. Back to the top now. This is Downing, right side, and a shot that went wide, bouncing past the goaltender, back on top. Downing fires again wide of the goal. They just keep reloading and firing at the left point. Fairchild knocked it down, lost it in the high slot. And out comes a break now for the Bears. Grun, one-on-one to the right circle, centers, and just lifting the stick up on Roth in time to keep him from hammering one home. He knocks the net off, and we get a stop in the action.
Well, great back check by Rob W. Johnson, because that guy would have had a wide open shot. It was a 2-on-1 play, as you said, Dan. Grun makes a nice pass across. Watch it here, but it's a back checking on the far side that eliminates the player right here as his stick is lifted, and that was the key in the play. Rob Johnson not only scoring goals, but being big defensively on that play.
Minute 8 to go in the power play for Duluth East. They trail 2-1.
Good puck movement again by Duluth East, but sometimes you got to pull the trigger on it. And trying a little too much stick handling back on the blue line. When you're being checked back there, that means they've got people high on you. You got to get the puck down low quickly.
Out come the Hounds now on the power play, right wing side. This is Bussey. Bussey hit on the back wall. Player down in the White Bear Lake goal. That allowed Grun to clear to center. Picked off there by Fairchild. Makes a nice move, spins away with the puck, and is dumped right back deep into the White Bear Lake zone. 40 seconds to go in the power play. Pushed up the right wing side, chopped at, but not clear. Near the right point, it's poked away, and now Makozak trying to skate out. Makozak is pulled down. Penalty coming up. Here's a shot by Grun that was blocked. It'll be touched here by the Greyhounds, and a penalty will be called.
Well, I got to tell you, it definitely was a penalty, but he's lucky. Makozak's lucky he didn't get called for diving because you did a little bit of exaggerating on that play. He was being pulled down. There's no doubt about that. You watch it right here.
Well, you can see Bussy trying to plead his case there.
Well, I think he didn't want a penalty. But look at this. Watch him just jump out a little bit. It wasn't that hard a play, Makozak. You were going to get the call. You're lucky you didn't get diving.
And Bussy says, hey, wait a minute. I didn't do that.
Or if I did, he should be coming with me for diving.
Nearing 6 minutes to go in period 2. 2-1 White Bear Lake lead over Duluth East. Puck in the Greyhound zone. We'll skate 4-on-4 for just a few more seconds and a power play for the Bears. And all of a sudden now the pressure will turn to the Greyhounds to kill off the penalty time. Braun, left point, shot from the point, knocked down, drops right in front of Saul, and he covers up, and the penalty time has expired on White Bear Lake, so the Bears go on the power play, a short one, 1:37, their third of the game.
Good play by Berger down low. He was holding the guy off as he comes out the side of the net to start the play off back to the point. You see the shot from the blue line, Saul taking it. He's getting some help in front of that from his defenseman Hayworth. But Berger, number 10 for White Bear Lake, came out from the corner, held a man off, and got the puck back to the point. Real good position play and strength by him on that play.
Conley runs the power play from behind the net. Now they work it out on top to Braun. Braun to the right side. It was deflected away as Clyden took a shot, and they're really lucky on that play that Rob W. Johnson didn't end up with a breakaway. Oh, knocked away by Saul. Wraparound in front. Saul is down. The rebound comes free, and now Rob W. Johnson has it. He'll dash to center. Got hooked up a little bit, and again, but finally fires it in deep. Chris Anderson will chase it down behind the goal. Back to pick it up for the Bears is Braun. Braun slides it ahead to Futh. Across the line, left side. Roth behind the goal. Roth looking at it, poke checked away by Fairchild. And now Fairchild will push it ahead to the neutral zone. And the Bears still on the man advantage. Will gain control back in their own zone, but it's an offsides call at the White Bear Lake blue line.
White Bears playing like they did against Centennial. Playing very well. They're playing physical. We'll see a nice hit. Watch this. Well, the crowd was calling for it a little bit. That one, when you checking from behind, away from the boards, got the elbow up. But the referee wasn't going to give him a second penalty, but that was as much of a penalty as the other one.
You've got from behind, you've got boarding, you've got elbowing, all going at the same time.
But White Bear is very, very sharp now, Dan. They are really playing the game like they did against Centennial the other night when they eliminated them in the regional finals.
But as long as the Greyhounds can hang around, they're in this game. Slides up against the post, and a very quick whistle as it's covered up by Saul.
How many times have we heard that? Those words are right. Hang around. Hang around as long as you can. You never know what's going to happen. Because we've seen them when they get an opportunity, especially at Johnson, Duluth East, they can score goals. Good play right there by Fairchild, taking his man to the boards. Fairchild's only a sophomore defenseman, and he's going to be a big-time player. We talked about him earlier. His coach, Mike Randolph, is very high on this youngster.
Final seconds of the man advantage for the Bears. This is Roth. All the way over on the right side to Hansen. His shot deflected. It goes high to the left corner. Stays on the ice, though. Penalty time has expired, so we're back to 5-on-5. This is Roth behind the goal. Roth looking to center. Drops it back for Makozak. Makozak lost it. Poked back to Makozak. Looking to center. Does right in front. Quick shot. Blocked by a defender out front. As Grun tried to fire it, this flips out of play. And a stop in the action with 3:51 remaining in the second period. White Bear Lake still with that 2-1 lead over the Greyhounds. This is high school hockey on 45.
I owe you $3. Love, Mom. I owe you $3. Love.
Who wants cookies? What?
No matter what stage you're at in life, there's a Wells Fargo banker ready to listen and help. Get more than free checking. Get to your next stage.
Louis, if you had thought that someone said that they'd have 5 shots on goal near the end of the second period, you'd think they'd be getting blown out, wouldn't you?
You would, especially when you're playing a team like White Bears that's got some good balanced scoring, and it's shown it thus far. But that's what a good goaltender will do for you. When a goaltender's hot, he keeps you in all the games.
There's a quick centering pass shot wide of the goal by Clammer for White Bear Lake. 21-5, the shots on goal favoring White Bear Lake, but 2-1 on the scoreboard. I think you get to this point, Mike Randolph says, all right, let's just get out of this period at 2-1 and regroup.
Exactly, because they haven't been down on this side of the ice very much.
This is Hilpish. Hilpish across the line, came free for a moment to Clammer, but he couldn't get a shot off. Clammer leaves it at the right point, pushed back in by Earhart. And even you got this fourth line out here for the Bears, unable to, the Greyhounds unable to take advantage of it.
Well, one of the things that White Bear is doing very well is they're moving constantly. Duluth East are back on their heels right now. They just seem to be struggling every time. When you're struggling, you don't move. Your feet don't move, and then you get bigger problems.
Futh with a shot and the save made by Saul, and he'll hang on with 2:48 to go in the period.
You'll see situations where there's one White Bear player and 2 Duluth East players, but both Duluth East players will be standing, the White Bear guy will be moving. Whenever you have a problem, whenever you're fighting in the game, the first thing you look to are your feet. Get the feet moving. If your legs are moving, you're going to get things happening. But if your legs aren't moving, then you're going to have big problems.
But cleared out to the neutral zone. Now Turnbull will try to get a rare offensive effort here for the Greyhounds. It's been a very tough first 2 periods.
And White Bear defensemen have come up real strong, eliminating the players, standing up at the blue line, taking the body. They've been real solid this game.
Well, if you look at their numbers for the White Bear Lake Bears defense, they don't score a lot. They play defense.
That's right, and that's the key. Whenever you start a game, the first thing you always think of in your own zone, think defense first. And that's what these kids do.
Ryland Nelson couldn't get through to the puck in the Bears' control. Again, an example of good defense by the Bears, not allowing the forecheckers to get to the puck. Here's Makozak. Makozak tried to move across to the middle to get a shot, but it was knocked away, and the Greyhounds in their own end. In front of his own net, Traxel clears it to center, picked off there by Clyden. Back into the Duluth East zone, under 2 minutes now to go in the period. Intercepted out of the blue line by Roth. Roth battling for the loose puck there against Schumacher. Comes free to Anderson. Anderson flips it out to neutral ice, but look, they're right on it. Makozak turns it right back in across the line. They're offsides, though, at the Greyhound blue line.
Right now you got Duluth East, and I think they even plan to do that. They're collapsing a lot in their own zone. The forwards are coming down low. When that happens and White Bear still comes up with the puck, White Bears got to be a little more alert. They could be getting more shots from the point that they're not getting thus far. They're controlling the puck, but they could start using the point to make Duluth East come back out to the blue line.
Nearing the 1 minute to go mark in the second period, a 2-1 score. And again, I think right now, very important stretch of play here for the Duluth East Greyhounds. They need to make sure they get to the locker room no worse off than they are right now.
You know, it only takes one shot to get in the net. If they get a shot on goal and get a goal, would that be something?
Now behind the goal, trying to center was Flaherty. Couldn't do it, and out come the White Bears with it. Knocked around in the neutral zone. Sent back by McLean. Right wing side. Flaherty will chase it down. No, he'll head back, and they'll change on the fly with 45 seconds to go in the period. Overskating the puck with Zach Hansen. Picked off in front. Johnson tried to center, didn't get it out front. Now slides it off to Schumacher. Schumacher to the goal. It's on goal. Save made by Faust. And it's clear.
One thing Schumacher wanted to do, he looked back and his defenseman was going for a line change. Otherwise, he'd have used the point. So then he took the shot, which he had to do. Good play by Schumacher, but he was, I think, a little upset he couldn't get it back to the blue line.
Held in at the point, just barely, by Fairchild. Now the Bears to center with 10 seconds to go. Loose puck to Schumacher. He lost it at center. Now picked up and carried in by Earhart. Earhart moving in. Drop pass, shot wide. Just missed the net at the horn on a good opportunity for Grun. And the period ends very fitting with White Bear trying to add another goal.
You're right, and they had a terrific opportunity there. Grun shooting through the screen, just shot it wide, and that could have been a backbreaker right there. Because White Bear right here would have been able to go up 3-1. Look at this, drop right here. right through the defenseman, just wide and high. But before that, you know, White Bear was under some pressure, and Hansen's trying to come out of the zone here. Puck's turned over, and now Duluth East gets an opportunity. Couldn't get the pass across, and Schumacher comes out from the corner. See, he looked back to the blue line. No one was there. They were going for a line change, and then he finally put the puck on net. But
all right,
good period again for White Bear Lake.
While the players head to the locker room, let's go down ringside to Anthony LaPanta.
Thanks very much, Dan. With Tim Sager, head man for White Bear Lake. Coach, all the talk throughout this tournament, the build-up to it has been, can this be the White Bear team that gets out of the first round? What's going through your mind when the first shot for the Greyhounds finds the back of the net?
Well, you know, it looked like we weren't ready to play, to be honest with you. We sort of looked like we had headlights in our eyes, you know, but kids battled back. You know, it's a 51-minute game. We got a lot of composure. They were upset with it that they gave something up so quick, but you know, right now we just need to finish a little bit more in front of the goaltender. He's playing well, but we got to get the puck up in the air. We had some great opportunities, but we need to make sure that we're doing things away from the puck and not think too offensively so that we give up an odd man rush.
Once you had taken the lead, then you got a big stop out of Zach Faust down here when you were up by a goal, sliding across the crease. Those are the kind of saves he's made for you, particularly down the stretch.
Yeah, he has. You know, we know that Duluth does a lot of stuff diagonally both ways, and you know, when a goaltender's got a good scouting report, he can read the puck. Zach's a very acrobatic goaltender, does a great job for us, and you know, we're gonna have to weather the storm here a little bit. You know, they got a lot of pride in their program. They're gonna come out and give everything they have.
Thanks, Tim. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Tim Sager, head coach for White Bear Lake. Will this be the edition of the Bears that finally plays in the Final Four? They lead by a goal after two. Our second intermission is next on 45.
We now return to Stick Figure Theater. When we last left Beth, Beth had no job. Poor Beth. She was stuck with no job skills.
I'm a stick and I'm stuck.
Her friend Twiggy told Beth about High Tech Institute.
Beth, you need to leave unemployment behind and go back to school. You know, my old job was a thorn in my side. High Tech Institute helped me branch out.
Twiggy was right. Beth needed better career education. She made one call to High Tech Institute to find out more. Beth had always wanted to try her hand at medical assisting. It was a field Beth found interesting, a career Beth could grow in. If you can't see the forest for the trees, find yourself in a new career from High Tech Institute. You'll learn how to blossom and make some good green, just like Beth. Call 800-509-7960. That's 800-509-7960. Call now.
Where are they taking her?
She's having the baby in the bathtub.
I beg your pardon?
Before there was Dharma and Greg. People have babies in bathtubs. I like to read in there until I get pruny.
Edward, we're surrounded. Don't abandon me now.
There was Kitty and Edward.
What are you doing?
We're valet parking cars, Mother.
God's sake, say something, Edward.
Leave the seat where it is and don't monkey with the radio.
Weeknights at 5:30 and 10:30 on 45.
It's hard to tell that White Bear Lake fan is rooting for the winning team right now, but 2-1 right now, White Bear Lake leading Duluth East. We are joined now by a familiar face, actually two familiar faces in the hockey scene here in Minnesota. Bill Butters from formerly the Minnesota Gophers. You've also played for White Bear Lake, coached at White Bear Lake, played for the North Stars, the Saints. Is there any Minnesota team you haven't played for?
The Minnesota Kicks.
Okay, they never let you play soccer out there at Met Stadium. Let me tell you, what is it like coming back here now? Do you still get goosebumps whenever you come back to the state high school hockey tournament?
Oh yeah, this is the greatest sporting event around, especially if you're a hockey guy.
You know, your son, Ben Butters, is an assistant coach for White Bear Lake. Yeah. How's the team doing?
Well, they're great. They got a great team, and he's excited. His wife's expecting their first baby, and he might leave anytime. She's overdue by 2 days. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So he's got double nerves going today.
Phil will have to keep our eyes on the bench in case he leaves in a hurry.
Hopefully the pager won't go off.
Yeah, right.
But, Bill, you know, you've been around hockey for a long time, and White Bear Lake's come to the state tournament for 17 years. What are they going to have to do this next period to be successful and get over that hump and get to the semis?
I just think they just have to keep playing the way they're going, and you know, they have a big, strong defensive core, and they just have to move the puck and not panic. You know, actually, White Bear did get out of there once in their Mariner. You know, they went to the finals, but everyone forgets about that. But they were White Bear kids back then, too. But they have to keep just playing. They have a solid game all year, and they got up and down the lineup. They got no stars. They just got hard-working guys, kids.
So, Bill, what are you up to these days? We know all about your hockey background. What's Bill Butters doing today?
Well, I had a little change in my life. I'm actually a missionary. I work for Hockey Ministries International. I travel all over the world telling people about their faith or asking people about their faith, hockey guys and that. So it's been a great deal for me.
That's great. Well, the White Bear Lake fans need to have some faith today, right? If they want to get over that hump.
Amen.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens. They've got the lead right now. We'll see if they can hold on to it.
Yeah.
Bill Butters has been our guest in this intermission. We appreciate you being here, Bill. Good to see you again.
Thanks, my pleasure.
We're going to go now to break now as we look at the Moorhead locker room. They, of course, are playing in the next game, getting ready for that game. Our coverage will continue after a break on 45.
Hey, buddy.
Yeah?
You want to buy a car?
Oh, what?
$20. Those precious baby waxers.
Seriously?
$20. Come on, $20.
All right. 20. Oh, man.
No matter what stage you're at in life, there's a Wells Fargo nearby to help. Get more than free checking. Get to your next stage.
A new tradition in high school sports is here. Channel 45 brings you the triumphs and the defeats that define the Minnesota State High School League tournaments. It begins right now with the Minnesota State High School League Boys Hockey Tournament. Channel 45 delivers full game coverage and in-depth stories in this new tradition of high school sports. Create new memories with the Minnesota State High School League tournaments, only on Channel 45. Presented by Wells Fargo, the next stage.
There's no way to start a Honda Accord from across the road. It's impossible to open the largest four-panel panoramic roof from inside a Toyota Camry. And the most powerful standard V6 isn't in a Nissan Altima 2.5. Introducing the first ever Pontiac G6. Now with $1,500 total cash back, the first ever G6 starts around $19,800. With action, anything is possible. See your Pontiac dealer today.
Perkins presents our Seafood Spectacular. 7 seafood dishes. All your favorites for a limited time only. Come see what all the noise is about. Perkins, breakfast is just the beginning.
The Moorhead Spuds looking forward to their game, which will start about 30 minutes after the first game that you are watching right now between White Bear Lake and Duluth East. And welcome back to our intermission coverage, guys. The big glaring statistic here is Duluth East is being outshot big time.
Definitely. I wouldn't have envisioned that. I thought Duluth East would have more offense than what they've shown so far.
Well, I think that it's a credit to White Bear. They're playing a physical game. I think they're wearing Duluth East down, and I think it's going to pay off in this third period.
Let's take a look at the highlights. White Bear Lake got on the board in a hurry within the first minute or two. Phil, what happened here?
Well, Peter McCozick, I got to correct my pronunciation from last time. It's a 2-on-1. He tries to force the puck over, hits the defenseman of Duluth East, and they got a big break there to go up 2-1.
That makes it very difficult for the goalie, doesn't it, Mike?
Oh, it is. Almost impossible. You're already starting to move. You had played it correctly, and then all of a sudden the puck changes direction. It's classic misdirection.
Zach Faust hasn't had to face many shots, but this was a big one.
This is a big one on Josh Turnbull. He's home free, and Faust came across. That's the difference in the game. White Bears scored on the power play. Duluth East has missed twice.
And as they say, the only shots that really count are the ones that actually go in the net, and it's only 2-1 right now. So you look at the statistics, you would think White Bear Lake would be dominating this game.
Well, you think White Bear Lake would be doing better on the power play also. You know, both teams have had 3 chances. I think the majority of chances went to White Bear Lake.
All right, well, we are just minutes away from the third period of this game. It's anybody's game, despite the few number of shots Duluth East has. Anything can happen, as you know, in 17 minutes of hockey. And we're going to be back. As we said, we're just minutes away from the third period. You can see the fans out there on concourse heading back to their seats. Our coverage of the State Boys High School Hockey Tournament will continue after a break.
From the fastest and strongest to the most capable and most powerful, Dodge Ram trucks. Matched by none, envied by all.
Come on, man, blow it! Could I see your resume? Of course. Thank you.
Embarrassed by your resume or don't have a resume at all? Maybe it's time you thought about a career in the medical field. Bryman Institute's medical insurance billing and coding program will prepare you for a career in today's healthcare offices and clinical facilities. Call Bryman Institute at 800-515-9723 and hold your head high at your next interview.
Lots of Toyota SUVs. Up on the King of Queens. Tug's ready to hit the links.
What was that? Arthur!
But Deacon's new golf date.
You any good at golf? Me no. Oh, great. Me neither.
Whoa, it's a rocket.
Ringer. I think we got a ringer here.
Has Carey feeling the heat.
Whoa, that's a big divot. What are you putting in the hot tub?
And it's all downhill from here. Next on the King of Queens.
Tonight at 6 on 45.
And popping popcorn is much a part of the state high school hockey tournament as just about anything else. It's an exciting third period of action coming up. White Bear Lake and Duluth East. Let's throw it up to the booth now where Lou Nanny and Dan Terhar are standing by. Guys?
All right, thank you very much, Tom and Louie. Here we go. This is, you know, normally you'd say, all right, eventually White Bear Lake's going to get a couple and they'll blow this game open. But if you're the Greyhounds, you're in the locker room going, all right, hey, we're in this game. We're not playing very well, but we're in this game.
Anytime you only need one shot, you know you're in the game. And that's one thing that's going through White Bear's mind as well. They know that they're throwing everything at Duluth East right now, but there's still only one goal up. But the big difference in this game so far has been the checking of White Bear. And I don't just mean body checking. I mean forechecking, back checking, the support from the forwards to the defense. There's no gap in there. The gap between the forwards and defense for White Bear Lake is very small. So there's not a lot of room for Duluth East to operate, and that's why we've got so many puck turnovers ending up on the White Bear sticks.
Should be a very interesting third period. Let's send it down now to Anthony LaPanta. Anthony?
Well, thanks very much, Dan. We've talked a little bit about this curse that's been hounding the Bears for the last, since the tournament started back in 1945. The Bears have been here 16 times, and to define this curse, Ralph Engelstad beat them the first time they were ever in the tournament back in 1945. It includes names like Micheletti, McLizzy, Perpich, John Mayasich once had a hat trick against them, and Willard Eichela once beat them in a game. But here's the stat for you. In those 16 meetings, the Bears have had a lead after two periods only 3 times. And in each of those cases, they obviously let it get away. 94 against Moorhead, 96 against South St. Paul, and their last time here against Roseville 2 years ago. Will this be the year, guys?
Thank you, Anthony. It's hard to believe, Lou, that you can go 16 times and lose in the first game of a tournament.
That's right.
The odds are in your favor.
You think something's got to happen to change it. But as you know, 16 times isn't the same team, so that makes up a big difference of it. But right now, I don't think White Bear's thinking anything about that at all, Dan. They got to be real confident in their play. They got to feel good about the way they played. And you have to remember, they beat the #1 rated team in the state in Centennial on Friday night. So that's got to give them a lot of confidence, too, that they can come out with a win.
As long as they don't get too frustrated by the goaltending of Chris Saul, who has been the difference in this game so far. There's a quick shot, carried off a pad and wide, and we are underway in period 3. 2-1, White Bear Lake in control and just trying to put this pesky team away from Duluth East, but they have not been able to here through 2 periods of play. Braun sends it around to the right wing side. Buth Down low, shot from an angle, save, rebound over the top of the goal and into the corner.
Let's go, guys.
Futh drops it back in the corner. This is Berger. Berger to Conley. Conley with a backhand. That didn't get through. Now picked off by Fairchild. He'll head man on the right wing side to Schumacher with a long drive, and that went off the pad. The save made by Faust.
And that's the kind of shot Faust wanted. He hasn't had any work.
No.
You want something from the outside that you could see and feel and find to get yourself in the game.
But cleared all the way back into the Duluth East zone. Good play by Fairchild. Picked it off. He spins away from Makozak. Sends it out to center to Schumacher. Schumacher left side. Pulls up. He'll fire another shot right on. And we are getting a little more action now for Mr. Faust than we had earlier as we check out the Rob Stauber's goal crease save of the game. And it'll come from Mr. Faust.
It's got to come on the pass across the Turnbull right here. And Turnbull made a great play there. Shooting off the pass. He got good wood on it. Faust with a big save. Faust got to be happy. He got 2 shots this period from way out. And that's the way you want to start off the period. You want to get something that gets you in the game, and you don't have to worry about not seeing the puck for a long while.
And for Duluth East to get 2 shots right away in the period, they only had 3 in each of the first 2 periods. So
maybe that's what Mike Randolph, the coach, told him. Get some shots on net. I don't care where you get them from, but get them on the net.
You got to start with that. Down low, this is Roth. Roth hooked up in the corner. He'll be ridden off there by Swatsky. Comes free for a moment to Makozak. Makozak tried to wrap it around. It was poke checked off his stick. Downing with it into the corner. They step up and knock it back low in the Duluth East zone. Now Swatsky will try the left side. They kind of cleared the zone on him. Nobody to go to, Lou.
Well, yeah, what they're trying to do now, Duluth East is trying to spread it out, and it's hurting them.
Here's Roth with a shot and never got through. Might have hit his own teammate, Makozak, with that shot. Now it slides in all the way down on goal. Knocked away by Faust. And, boy, when going after the puck was Nelson, and I'm not sure, did the stick follow through and hit him?
Exactly. You know, as you're getting the puck away, you're following through. And Faust's goal stick just came up, and it caught Nelson. Nelson was going down there to get the loose puck. Watch this.
Oh, man.
Comes right up, right under the chin.
Right under the chin.
Fortunately, he's got a mask on, so he shouldn't be cut. But he
different angle
had
there.
his bell rung right here. You'll see right there in the mask.
Well, if it hit him in the mask, that's one thing. You just hope it didn't get him in the throat.
Yeah. I know. I've had one in the throat. It didn't. You don't talk very well for a while. You get a little hoarse, but hopefully he's going to be all right here. You know, you can also get sometimes that point of the stick and just go through the mask. I don't think it did. That's what you worry about as you look at goaltender Faust, who's had a couple of saves this period, something he didn't have quite much of in the first 2.
No, so that's it. It's probably a good sign for him to be busy, but a very good sign for Duluth East.
And Duluth East has to watch. They're only down 2-1. You don't want to start leaving your zone too much. They're trying to pull a defenseman out and get the puck out easily. But when you do that, especially the kind of forecheck the White Bears had where they've been successful getting turnovers, you'll get caught outmanned in that area. So be careful on that.
All right, he's up. It seems to be okay, but let me tell you this, opposites attract, and the outcome is always hilarious. Grab the best seat in your house for Dharma and Greg, weeknights at 5:30 p.m. and 10:30 p.m. on Channel 45. Rylan Nelson is up and off the ice. Looks to be okay, the junior winger for Duluth East. And we'll drop it in the neutral zone. 2-1, White Bear Lake leading Duluth East. But so far, I know it's early in the period, but a better start to the period than what we've seen Duluth East have. And they're going to need it here to battle this White Bear Lake Bears team. Puck in the Bears zone, tied up along the wall, trying to poke it free down there was Wolfgram. Slides to the front of the goal, cleared out to neutral ice. Now here's a rush up on the right wing side. Johnson diving for it, took a swing at it. Came up empty. Loose puck to Kovacs. Dumps it back down low again. Out to the front of the goal, but it's knocked away to the far side. Now down low with the puck is McLean. Brings it around behind. Now tucked back in by the Bears. Fairchild off the wall, poked to center. They'll chase it down. Flaherty couldn't get there, and the Bears turn, and they fire right back into the Duluth East zone. Both teams changing on the fly. Long pass in on the right side is just tipped into the zone by Bussey. And now the Bears clear it back to center. Hayworth rotates it left for McKella intercepted by the Bears. They'll carry back in right side with a high shot that missed the goal. And then the goal is knocked off its pegs behind goaltender Chris Saul. 2-1 White Bear Lake leading Duluth East. This is the Boys State High School Hockey Tournament on 45.
When it's just you between the puck and the net, you've got to be your best. Stauber's Goal Crease, the ultimate goalie training center, can get you there. Founder Rob Stauber brings his 10 years of NHL experience and innovative training methods to aspiring goalies with a state-of-the-art training facility and pro shop. And year-round programs including summer camps. The one-to-one goalie training uses groundbreaking training tools that make Stauber's Goal Crease the finest training center anywhere. Call now or visit goalcrease.com. Stauber's Goal Crease, training Minnesota goalies to be their best.
Let's check the 5 Eyewitness News game summary. And Lou, we forget that the Greyhounds scored early in this game and we're off to a great start.
It looked in the first 2 minutes like Duluth East was going to have themselves a great afternoon here, but since that time, halfway through the first period, look at this. It's been all Bears. Not only the go-ahead goal, the shorthanded goal was huge, and the shots on net were just amazing. Right now, they're 24-8 for White Bear Lake. 3 of the shots coming this period for Duluth East. They didn't do too much in the second period, but they started out much better here in the third.
Teams matching first lines right now. Knocked away. This is Chris Anderson from the left side. Anderson centers in front. Schumacher shot. He scores! Oh, my. We are tied at 2.
And that's one thing that White Bear didn't want to have happen. They get a good opportunity here. A great 2-on-1 play ending up with Schumacher beating Faust. There was a terrific pass across, and White Bear Lake sees their lead dwindle. Now it's 2-2 at the tie game after Schumacher scores here quickly in the third period. Watch this, a turnover here, a pass across from Anderson to Schumacher coming on the right side, up high in the corner. And that's where 2 shots have beaten Faust. They're perfect shots, nothing the goalie can do. He just was beat with a terrific shot again by Schumacher. Same place Rob Johnson scored his to start the game.
I think they did their homework when they shoot on Faust. They put it up high.
It's good to put them up high. It's really tough to do it, though. You know, you got to be accurate and sometimes lucky, because those shots were perfectly placed on the goaltender. Great pass across by Anderson, though, and that's the key in the thing. 2-on-1, you want to make certain you come out with a shot on net, the best shot on net, and that's what we had. And this team is back in the hockey game right now. You look at a lively Duluth East bench. It's come alive this period. Started out with a couple shots, and now they're in a tie game.
Now you look at the benches, and Duluth East up on their feet. They're in the game. They're fired up. And you look at the Bears, and they've got a lot of pressure on them now. This one slides in on Faust, and he swats it away. How quickly it changes. Centering attempt is knocked away. The Bears will try to break it out. 2-2 game, 12 and a half remaining in the third period. Puck is flipped. This will be an icing call here against Duluth East.
I'm sure Tim Seeger, the coach of White Bear Lake, Dan, is going to his troops and saying, look, we've had a terrific game thus far. We've played well. We've had a lot of shots on net. We've had far and away the better quality scoring chances. Keep playing the same way. Don't sit back. You got to be aggressive. You got to keep the legs moving. Things will work out for us.
Face-off in the Greyhound zone. Comes to the near half boards. It's tied up there and now cleared through the neutral zone. And the Bears go back after it. This is Hansen. Hansen turns up the wall to center. Knocked down in the neutral zone. Picked up again now by Berger. Berger across the line. Tried to center. And reaching for it there was Futh, but he couldn't get a touch on it as it went right through the top of the crease. Now ahead in the neutral zone to Schumacher. They clear it out. Now pushing it ahead to center. Diving across the blue line was Rob W. Johnson, but the Bears will pick it up in their own zone. Hansen stolen away by Rob W. Right in front of shot. They score! It came loose in front. I think it was Flaherty. And the Greyhounds are on top. Unbelievable.
And it was Flaherty, and it was a turnover, a great pass out from the corner. And you could just see and feel the jump in Duluth East skates in that last minute of play. And watch behind the net. The puck's going to get turned over. Great pass and a quick shot right out front. It got deflected off the Duluth player right here. It went to Rob Johnson. He gets it out to Flaherty, and he puts it away quickly. Great pass by the leading scorer, Rob Johnson, to Flaherty as he takes the turnover and has Flaherty put it away in the far side. And now Duluth East in control, 3-2.
Wow, time of the goal, 5:13 for Keegan Flaherty, the freshman, just his 3rd goal of the season. Now that's a big one. And Now you got to see how the Bears react. Plenty of time left, 11 and a half minutes to go in the game, but all of a sudden the momentum has shifted. And the Greyhounds have new life and a lead, 3-2. Tied up behind the White Bear Lake goal. We spent 2 periods without them even having an offensive chance, and now they've scored 2 here.
And you could see it just in their play right now. Look at the way they're moving.
Yes.
Something they definitely weren't doing in the second period or the last half of the first. White Bear Lake right now has got to make certain they don't get tended up, and they can't be thinking about anything else but being offensive and keeping playing the way they know they can play. And that's by having their legs move and moving that puck. They got to be aggressive, and they got to keep moving.
Traxel to Bussey to center. It was too far for Ryland Nelson. And now the Bears take control. Through the neutral zone, it's tipped to the blue line. Traxel clears it ahead. This is Bussey. Bussey got it back again on the right wing side. Down low to Ryland Nelson. Nelson rotates it behind the goal. Turning with the puck is Turnbull. He's knocked down off the play, and back the other direction comes Grun. Rink wide behind his man, then slides it ahead for McCozak. McCozak battling for the puck. There is Grun to help him out. McCozak to Grun. Tried to center it back to Grun, but it hit the back of the net. Now Grun fires one wide of the goal. This is going to come out the other side to Rob W. Johnson. Left side. Cuts to the middle across the line. Slides it down low. They both overskate the puck. Now back to pick up the loose puck is Grun. Poked free by Earhart. And the Bears get it to center. Knocked down there. Picking up the loose puck is David Grun. Rotated blue line left to Hansen. He'll step up to the red line and fire it into the Duluth end.
Duluth forwards are doing a much better job now of coming back, closing off the passing lanes, and supporting their defensemen. Much more effective in a neutral zone than they were in the first 2 periods.
Faust leads it behind the goal. Quickly pushed ahead by Braun. Flipped through the neutral zone. Knocked down there and controlled by Traxel. Cleared but not out. Delayed offsides. The Bears will tag up and get onsides. Puck carried ahead by Fairchild. Round one man fires it deep into the White Bear Lake zone. Rob A. Johnson back to the point. Traxel with a shot. Steered aside by Faust. Down low behind. Flaherty. The freshman who just scored the go-ahead goal for the Greyhounds. A big goal. Traxel keeps it in at the right point. It's like we switched jerseys here, Lou.
Yeah, and you could tell a big difference. Watch where the blue line, the defensemen on the blue line for Duluth East are hanging in there. They're staying in there with confidence. Where White Bears defensemen now are pulling out of the zone a lot quicker. That's just the way you feel. You start being tentative, you pull out quick. When you got a lot of confidence, you hang in there longer. And that's right now the way Duluth East is playing. They're standing right in there. They're intercepting pass out. They're getting some shots from the blue line. And one thing Duluth East has done better all night long when they have the opportunity is move the puck back to the blue line for shots where White Bear isn't using their points nearly as much as they could.
Shot off the draw from the point. Save steered aside by Faust. Deep low in the corner. This is Rob W. Johnson. Hit on the wall there. Hansen comes out with it. Ahead on the right wing side, and they'll break it out. Grun to center. Roth. Roth back to Grun. High slot shot. Save made by Soul. Bears push it down low again. And we get a whistle and a stoppage of plays. It's deep in the zone. And another chance there, and he had to come up big again.
A real good 3-on-2 by White Bear Lake. They played that perfectly. 3-on-2, they get the pass back to Grun. He gets a shot from 35 feet out. The save is made right here. But you have to look at Mikowski and Roth. Both played that well. They took the defenseman wide, laid the puck back, and they got an opportunity. But Saul is being hard to beat here tonight.
For so long in this game, he was keeping them in the game. And now all of a sudden, he's had a little break, not as many shots, and now he's holding on to a lead. Changes that quickly. Kovacs after a loose puck, and a player lost his helmet. And that'll send us to a break while he puts his hat back on. 3-2 Duluth East leading the Hounds. This is hockey at 45.
Would you buy a car without an airbag or a safety belt? Would you
put my little brother in a car without his car seat?
Would you put me in a car without OnStar? I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
Hey, Dad, by the time I go to college,
You'll wonder how you ever
do it without it. Don't wait, Mom. It's the next big step in safety. Who's gonna go there first?
Someone should.
Only GM could.
This third period being brought to you by Dodge. Grab life by the horns. And that's exactly what the Greyhounds have done here, Louis. They took control.
Boy, have they ever. Just like a different teams coming out of the locker room in the third period. They've come out with a purpose, and they are certainly feeling real good about themselves right now after getting 2 quick goals and taking the lead.
I don't know what Mike Randolph said, but he should write it down.
Well, you know, I don't think that Mike really was too concerned about not playing well in the third period. Anytime you can weather the storm like they did, and we talked about that earlier, and be only 1 goal down, you know you're only a shot away from tying. That's one of the best things you got as a coach going in there. You're saying, look, they've thrown everything at us, yet they're only up by one goal. We've got to play our game the way we can play, and we'll be back in it. That's what's happened.
They weathered the storm. Now they have a 1-goal lead with 7.5 minutes remaining in the third period. Held in the zone. Nice play around the blue line by Few. But they keep it in the Greyhound zone. This is Swatsky. Round behind for Downing. Cleared to center, deflected, and slides all the way back down. Fouts, the goaltender, comes out and just leaves it there for Hansen. Hansen hit on the back wall by Bussey. But the Bears will slide it ahead near the blue line, and they battle to keep it in the White Bear Lake zone. The Bears will come up with it. And trying to come out was Berger. Berger got it off for Futh. Poke checked away. Roth got it back.
Swatsky's done a great job in that blue line, Dan. Twice he broke up plays there, and then he got that puck moving up front. That's what Duluth East defensemen are doing now.
Schumacher centering. Rob W. Johnson turned it over down low to Justin Braun for the Bears. Starts it out to center. Bouncing puck. Chipped ahead now to Makozak. Makozak across the line, but they're offsides.
Anytime your defensemen are controlling the blue line, the defensive team coming down is going to have a difficult time scoring. Duluth East is playing much better up at the blue line this period than they did last period, and their defensemen are closing the gap between them. The one problem they had earlier in the game, they were standing up there, but they were really wide at the blue line, and that's allowing people to go through the middle. They've really improved their play back there, and they've given White Bear fits trying to come in the zone right now.
This is Colin Traxel trying to clear. He cannot. Centering pass in front. Shot right on by Roth, and the rebound is covered up by Saul. Tony Roth with a chance to tie.
And Saul again covering up the rebound. He's done a wonderful job of making the save and covering up the rebound because Mikowski's right there in the doorstep again. Watch this as the pass comes across here for the shot. Watch in front of the net. You're going to see right here Mikowski's going to be coming, and he's right at the last second, but he's coming for that loose puck.
Off the draw, another shot right on. Saul with a save, rebound, a shot. That hit the post. Right in front, Grun hit the pipe. A blast from the point, and that went off either the goaltender or else it was Makozak out in front. Boy, these Bears, if anybody thought they were done, forget it. They'll just keep coming. Pass intercepted by Grun. Grun will dump it back down low, and here comes a push by the Bears. Centered in front. It got by 2 of the Bears breaking to the net. Run all the way out to center. Slides it ahead. They come right back. Makozak trying to get a shot off, and he could not. This is Roth. Leaves it down low. Fairchild. Cleared to center. Bears will reload from here. Fired right back in. They tag up and get onside. They'll actually make a change on the fly here.
What a shift Makozak had there. He has really been effective here this afternoon. Had a great game.
Boy, he's had some chances today.
Yes, he has.
Here come the Greyhounds back in the White Bear Lake zone. Wolfgram knocked off the puck. Bouncing puck in the corner, picked up by Schumacher. Schumacher, Rob W. Johnson in the slot, and he got knocked down before he could get a decent shot off. And it slides free to Tom Clyden. Flips it high in the air to center. Gloved and knocked down by Chris Anderson. Here come the Bears deep in the zone. Roth centered right on the stick out front of the defenseman Wade Hayworth. And he'll take it safely behind the goal. Flipped around the defenseman Zach Hansen back into the White Bear Lake zone. Now if you're a White Bear Lake Bear, you're starting to watch the clock a little bit. 4.5 to go. Zach Hansen for the Bears, tied up on the back wall. Flaherty is in there. McLean is in there.
Bear got to move that puck out of there quicker. One thing Duluth East doesn't mind doing is playing along the boards all night long.
They'll muck it in the corner.
Blocks on your side. Yeah, you just keep doing it.
Flip to center, trying to spring something. Bouncing puck knocked away by Colin Traxel. At center, and loose puck again. This time picked up and dumped by Hippish, and that'll be an icing call here. And a stoppage of play with 3:57 to go. Tight game. The Hounds leading the Bears 3-2, and oh so close.
I owe you $3. Love, love. I owe you $3. Love.
Who wants cookies? What? No matter what stage you're at in life, there's a Wells Fargo banker ready to listen and help. Get more than free checking. Get to your next stage.
Welcome back. You're watching the Boys State High School Hockey Tournament on 45. Can't get over the hump. They saw it right there. Unbelievable. And this team has now under 4 minutes to try and tie this game up when they really dominated periods 1 and 2 very heavily.
And the shots don't tell the story of the game here because it's 27-13 for White Bear, but they're behind.
There's a chance shot wide of the goal by Grun. It'll come all the way to center. They'll wave off the icing, and so the Bears will go deep in their own zone to regroup. Clyden, the sophomore defender, around behind his own goal. Long pass ahead at center for Roth. Roth had it stripped away, taken by Turnbull. Across the line, centers out high. And it's turned back over to the Bears. Pass just a tad too far. No icing. It was touched by Makozak. Trying to make something happen. Makozak, Roth. Roth has it. Stripped away from Roth. Rink wide to the near side, and the Greyhounds will dump it out to center, and there's no icing here as it goes back into the Bears zone. Clock continues to run. 3 minutes to go. 3 minutes for the Bears to try and make something happen. Long pass ahead on the right wing side for Makozak. Crosses the blue line, lost it, and an offsides call, a stoppage of play with 2:50 remaining.
One thing, if I'm Duluth East, I know there's one line out there tonight's been extremely effective all night long, and that's Makozak, Grun, and Roth. They'll be coming back for another opportunity. You've got to be certain when they're on the ice, you've got to keep getting the puck out of the zone. I'd have to say that Gruns have the most opportunities, the most chances, and probably the most shots on goal thus far. Makozak's been exceptional with his forecheck, and Roth has done extremely well to go along with him.
Plenty of time left, still 2.5 to go. And we will see more of those key players. Dumped in from center by the Greyhounds. The goaltender, Faust, lost his balance, comes out front, but nobody at home in a dark sweater, and out come the Bears. Left wing side. Futh on the backhand, slides it in on goal. Rebound is cleared away by the Hounds, but not out. Penalty coming up on Duluth East. Don't go away yet, Louis.
Oh, and what a critical penalty, an interference call. One thing you have to be certain of, when people are driving to the net, you don't pull down people who don't have the puck. White Bear's done a great job of going to the net this afternoon. On this occasion, as the puck carrier is going in, another guy's pulled down. Watsky, you'll see on the far side. Maybe we'll get him on a camera right here, going to the net, pulling the man down right there, who's going for the rebound. Now, White Bear has been effective moving the puck, hasn't scored in the power play. You got to be careful now because they really throw it around well.
The body language of Tim Sager said it all for the Bears. They're on the power play. Swatsky's in the penalty box. 2:06 to go. The Bears trailing by 1. Man advantage in the high slot. A shot down low. Loose in front. Kicked around. Comes free. And cleared but not out. Grun with another chance to score. Out to the right point. Roth, Grun shot. Hit traffic. Gets it back. Grun behind the goal. Looking to center. Does in front. Roth can't get a shot off. Back to the point. To Grun in the right corner. High slot. Roth shot blocked. And it's underneath. One of the Duluth players comes free. Right side. Grun another shot and a save by Saul. Minute and a half to go in the game. Went wide. Earhart pushed it to the back wall. They'll try to dig it out. Makozak is there trying to dig it free. Comes free to the Greyhounds. Flipped high in the air and bounces out in the neutral zone. A minute to go in the man advantage for the White Bear Lake Bears, trying to tie this game up before it's too late. Pushed down low by Zach Hansen. Traxel, right side, got it out of the zone. The net is empty. The Bears have pulled their goalie. They have a two-man advantage. Fired in with a minute to go. On the left wing wall, Grun pushes it down behind. Cleared along the glass. Grun in the corner. Back to the point. A shot is deflected all the way to the right corner with 43 seconds remaining. Earhart got it off for Futh. Futh in the high slot. He lost it and it's cleared. 30 seconds remaining. No goalie. Grun. Headman's a pass on the right wing side. Hansen's shot was blocked, goes down low. 20 seconds remaining. The Bears have got to score. They trail 3-2 to Duluth East. Tied up on the back wall. Grun moving in. Shot it off the skate. Side of the net. They try to stuff it in. That was Hansen. Penalty time has expired. Here's a shot at the empty net, and they just miss it. Icing with 4.2 seconds remaining. Holy smokes.
I think Grun must have had 4 shots on net during that exchange. Great puck movement. I'll have to tell you, for Duluth East, that kid Fairchild did some great work along the boards. He killed at least 15 seconds 2 times, fighting and very wisely using his skates to control the puck along the boards and kill the clock. There's an action right there. Grun taking a shot. And on the short side, you see Hansen also trying to get it in there. And so we got a timeout called now, and this is one thing White Bear wants to do. They want to give Grun and Kozak a little more rest. Here's a couple opportunities. You're going to see White Bear all over the net. They just could not get the puck through to the net. Great play there by Schumacher. Even though you got to take an icing, you never like to take icing, but when you're under that kind of pressure, you got tired people, you might as well get an icing and get it down, because they have been just about equal in the face-offs thus far. What a centerman's got to try and do in this face-off now, if you're Duluth East, you got to tie up the other centerman. They're not going to call you for interference, so the thing you do is lift his stick and drive him out and make certain that that puck goes nowhere or goes back, because you only got 4.2 seconds to go, and you don't want that puck moving anywhere but back or staying where it is.
Now both teams with the timeout to plan their strategy. The Bears have 4.2 seconds to go to try and tie this game up, or their chance for a championship is over.
Well, right now White Bear Lake's got to say who's my best centerman, and you'd like to get somebody a right-hand shot on the draw. Looks like, you know, if you get a left-hand shooter, he's going to draw towards the boards. And that's going to be his strength. And it looks like Berger's going to go in there. He's got to go ahead with that puck. It's going to be pretty tough to come from the boards on that angle and score a goal.
Here we go. The net is empty. Bouncing puck. They flip it towards the goal in front, and there's the horn, and the game is over. Game 1 comes down to the last second. Duluth East shocks White Bear Lake 3-2, and we're off and flying in the AA quarterfinals, Lou Nanny, and boy, what a tough, unbelievable 17 now trips to state, and 17 times they'd lost the opening game for the Bears.
Yeah, and if you're White Bear, you really got to feel hurt, because they couldn't play much better. They were terrific. It was just Saul in the net, far and away the best player on the ice, because he kept Duluth East in there. You're looking right there, defenseman Earhart, he played well. The defense from White Bear played well, and here it is, 29-13, shots on goal, and like they say, shots total doesn't matter, it's goal total.
Unbelievable.
You got to get shots on net, and when you get them, they might score, and that's what happened to Duluth. They got a couple of shots in the third period, something you hadn't done all in the second period, took the lead, and it's a big, big win for Duluth East, because White Bear Lake was fabulous throughout this whole afternoon.
You look at what happened at the end of the game with 4 seconds remaining.
Yeah, but the draw's going to go back to the board side. Yeah. They try to get it in the middle, but you see, if they get it in the middle, and you got Berger coming in the center there, the checker is coming right into you. So he's already coming into you. You're not going to get that shot away. You got to draw the puck over to the right side where it's a bang-bang shot. Bing, you draw the puck back before the guy takes a step, you get a shot on net. That actually worked to the advantage of Duluth East and never did quite get through to the net. And there they are, advancing to the semifinals. On the other side of the coin, there's a team that can't be ashamed of anything they've done, because I got to tell you, they were extremely impressive here today. They deserve to be here. They played great in the regionals. And they got beat by that man right there.
Yeah, there you go.
Saul,
Go back to the second period, how he just, this game could have been long over with him. He hadn't been outstanding.
Well, it had to be from about the 6-minute mark of the first period. Things just changed. White Bear took over and completely controlled the game for the next period and a half until the third, and Duluth East came out with some fire. They got 2 shots on net early, and it just seemed to lift them, their spirits. They came out, played desperate, and they won a big game.
Chris Saul, the senior goaltender for the Duluth East Greyhounds, is down ringside now with Anthony LaPanta.
Well, thanks very much, guys. We're here with the winning goaltender, Chris Saul, our Dodge player of the game. Chris, what an effort by the Greyhounds. First of all, let's go into that locker room in the second intermission. Down a goal. What was the conversation? What got you guys so revved up for the third period?
After the second period, we know we just got to come out with heart. We were down in our section final game. Same score, and I can't say enough about the guys in front of me. Coming out, we're down a goal. We're getting just blasted the first 2 periods. And this team's got just a whole heck of a lot of heart, and that's how we got done today.
Second period, the puck was in your zone, seemingly the full 17 minutes. Take us back through that, some of the toughest saves you had to make in that period.
The White Bear team was incredible down low. Their guys can really stick handle, and they were looking for the open guys. I think they missed a couple of good chances, and I got lucky there, but that's what it takes to win a game like this.
Final closing seconds, they pull their goaltender, they're on the power play. You had to face 4 or 5 good chances in tight down there. Did any of them concern you? Was there any that you didn't see and happened to get a piece of anyway?
There's one that came in from the left point there. The kid got a stick on it, hit me in the chest. Luckily, it's just one of those things where you're in the right position and it hits you. It was unbelievable.
How good does it feel to be heading to the Final Four?
It's just great, especially everyone counting us out of this game. White Bear brought a heck of a team down here. We beat them, and hey, we knew we were the underdogs coming in, and we wouldn't want it any other way, and we proved we could play. The first 2 periods didn't look so good for us, but came out in the third.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Chris Saul, our player of the game, and as we head upstairs to Tom Haugen, we take a look at our Minnesota Wild play of the game. Tom?
The play of the game. This
end of the game.
It's the flurry around the. Oh, that was the when they blocked the puck before it could get to the goaltender. It was an exciting play at the end. It was very frantic at the end. Mike and Phil, this game got to be a devastating loss for White Bear Lake. They've been here 17 times since 1945, never out of the quarterfinals.
It's hard to believe. It was like game A and game B today. The old Muhammad Ali rope-a-dope out there. You rope-a-doped them for 2 periods, and then in the third you turn it on.
Yeah, it's too bad for White Bear. They sort of beat themselves. They turned the puck over twice. It turned into 2 goals for Duluth East. Hey, they had control the whole game. It came down to those 2 turnovers.
All right, let's take a look at the Class AA brackets now and update where things stand right now. Duluth East will move on to play the winner of the Moorhead-Rochester Century game, which is coming up here in about a half hour. And then tonight, Jefferson and Holy Angels will square off at 7, followed by Elk River and Tartan. Both teams for our next game are on the ice. We will be back in just a few moments when our coverage of the Boys State High School Hockey Tournament continues.
The price of gold has changed. Now you can get extra cash. Recycle old gold scraps, gathering dust. Call 1-800-GOLD-KIT for quick cash. The Gold Kit is absolutely free. Send old rings, charms, dental scrap, and more.
I got $600 for my scrap gold.
It's easy. Call 1-800-GOLD-KIT. We'll mail you the kit and payment information with a check to follow promptly. Gold Kit and postage are free. Your satisfaction guaranteed. Call 1-800-GOLD-KIT now or visit goldkit.com.
Recently, I went through a major hair trauma. My stylist of 10 years eloped to Tahiti. So I tried Great Clips, and I was thrilled. The stylists are friendly, professional. They know all the latest styles. Just tell us what you want. Great Clips even has all my favorite products. And with their low prices, I feel a lot less guilty about my shoe fetish.
Great Clips. Great haircuts. Every time, everywhere.
Perkins presents our Seafood Spectacular. Seven seafood dishes. All your favorites for a limited time only. Come see what all the noise is about. Perkins, breakfast is just the beginning.
Dear Coles, please build a new store in our backyard. It
It'll be the first Kohl's for the swimming pool. Hugs and kisses, Harry and Claire. Genius!
Come to Kohl's grand opening sale, where all of our stores are celebrating with savings on your favorite brands, including Chaps, New Balance, KitchenAid, and more. Plus, expect great savings on styles from Daisy Fuentes and Department 9, both exclusively at Kohl's. Expect a celebration full of savings at Kohl's grand opening sale.
Toy department should be admired. I'll make a few calls.
Kohl's, expect great things.
The post-game show is brought to you by Great Clips. Great haircuts every time, everywhere. Throughout our coverage of the boys high school hockey tournament, Lou Nanny has been talking to some of the legendary coaches of the game. Today, we feature some of their most memorable games.
You look at 60 years of playing in this tournament, there have been, every year it seems there's an outstanding game. People just can't believe how well it's played and how it goes. Now, when you go back over 60 years, and Louis, you come closer to 60 years, more so than anybody with you and Willard. If you had to pick one game that stands out in your mind, what would it be?
I'd have to say, Louis, that my first team with Krupe, Hughes, and Shada, after winning the state championship the year before, that first game, to me, is special because the adrenaline, the chemistry, and the fact that we had won it the year before, to me, is so special. And that line then went on to stay intact and play for John Mariucci. I'm so proud of all these young men that I've had an opportunity to coach, but it's because they all went on to do well in their adult life and their careers. And again, those high school years with these young men, they all, to the person, of all the success they've enjoyed in amateur hockey, to the person playing on a state tournament team was the special thing in their life.
Terry, how about you? You've seen a lot of state tournament games besides being involved coaching so many teams. Was there any game that really stands out in your mind, whether it's your team or another team?
Well, I can remember I think it was Southwest in Edina. Wasn't it Willard? It was an overtime game.
70,
in 70. Well, that was a great hockey game to watch. It was just back and forth and just great play. It was fun to watch. And I think Dougie Long's night when he had all those saves, what a deal that was. That was just exciting to watch. You turn the TV on, you're watching, and somebody says, geez, he's got 46 saves after 2 periods or whatever. I mean, it was just phenomenal. But for me, the game that stands out is a game that we lost in the finals. We lost in 1980 to a great Grand Rapids team, and it was a 2-1 game. And Grand Rapids had a great goaltender by the name of John Casey. And I think in that game he had 34 saves, I believe, and I think we had 4 breakaways during the game and he stopped every one of us. And he was great at coming out of the net, and challenging shooters. And when the guy got a breakaway, you could almost bet that he was going to come out of the net and poke check the puck away. And he did it 4 times. You think our guys would have got smart and figured it out. But that game stands out for me because we had such a great group of guys that year. And to lose in the finals, it was only loss all season. It was a 2-1 game. Was hard yet. But even though we lost the game, I think our guys left everything on the ice, and they were really proud of what they accomplished.
Tom Osiki, how about you?
Well, in a more recent vintage, I remember the Apple Valley Duluth East game that went forever. And I just, I don't know I can think about anything else. That one is incredible as a game overall. And not just because it went so long, but there were so many great scoring opportunities. And you had the goal scorers that were up and down and all over the place, and great goaltending by Goring and Apple Valley. I mean, that was an incredible game. That one really stands out.
Tom Satterall?
I agree with Tom. That probably, my son and I stayed in our seats till it was over. But three that real quick that I think of is that when we played 81, Paul Guest scored the goal in overtime to beat Grand Rapids. And then in 89's Doug Zamolik from John Marshall in the finals makes a shot on goal, and our goalie makes just a great save and puts it on the ice, moves it up the ice. Tucker gets the overtime goal to win it against JM. But then the one that I liked the most was because it was the person who scored it was probably in '92 against Cloquet, because there again that was a wide open game, 5-4. But Nick Checo, Mr. Hockey, came through for us with 30 seconds left to tie the game to put it into overtime, and that was just a great effort on his part.
Willard, what game stands out in your mind?
Well, I have some bad dreams about that Southwest game. Dave Peterson, of course, was a great coach at Southwest, and we had many, many great games against each other over the years. And I remember Brad Shelstead was goaltender for Southwest, who went on with the U and played well there. Bobby Krieger was one of our top forwards. He had a breakaway, if you remember the game, and I think it was in the last 10 seconds. And if you want a player to have the puck in that situation, it would be Bobby. And he came down full blast, 10 seconds to go, score was 0-0. And Shelstead did the deck, and Bobby hit him right in the top of the top pad. And the puck came back out towards the blue line, and Bruce Carlson, who also was one of our better players and also played at the U later on, picked up the rebound, and with about 5 seconds to go, he shot, and it went over the top bar. And the game went to overtime, and we lost. But it was a game that I'll never forget. We just had a great team that year that just didn't quite make it, and mostly a senior team. The following year, we only came back with 3 players, and we won it. And who would think that we win it with that team? And the year before, we had like one of the Jefferson's team. I think we had about 8 Division I players off that team that lost to Southwest. And next year, we came back with 3 returning players and beat Roseville, I think, 1-0 in the finals. So you never know.
Fans entering the XL Energy Center to watch the Panthers of Rochester Century and the Moorhead Spuds. Their game is just minutes away. We'll be back in a moment on 45.
Channel 45 congratulates this year's Minnesota State High School League Excel Award winners. Christopher Keel is an A student who has been a class officer throughout his high school career. He's also an accomplished athlete and local volunteer. Jana Moss is involved in multiple sport and music programs. She's also actively involved in church programs and National Honor Society. Andy Dawkins is an award-winning student and athlete. He is also involved in local choir, church, and drama groups. Kirsten Haucom is highly involved with community volunteerism efforts. She's also an award-winning athlete and is active in her church. Jason Ulbrich is involved in many activities at school. Outside of school, he works with the Boy Scouts, and he recently led a construction project at church. Andrew Malaver is an accomplished student athlete with several awards. He's also on the student council and participates in many school activities. Joseph Froggett is heavily involved in athletics, music, and academics. He also gives back to the community, coaching local sports teams. Congratulations to this year's Minnesota State High School League Excel Award winners.
Look who's getting friendly on Friends.
I'm kissing Rachel.
With naked folks and grabs and gropes, passion and action and locking lips. You won't believe who's joined at the hips. Phoebe and Ross are having a ball, and guess who else wants it all?
Thirsty?
You bet I am. Your friends are here, come take a peek. Having fun 5 days a week.
Good lad.
Dude, what are you doing? Hearts and Flames, 5 days a week on Friends.
Weeknights at 10 on 45.
To defense attorney Bobby Donnell, winning is everything.
All I care about is what 12 people in a box are going to think.
Sometimes he fights, sometimes he negotiates.
$7 million today, or I notify the district attorney.
But there will never be a time when he gives up.
You don't win by holding back.
Dylan McDermott is Bobby Donnell.
Now it's my turn. I don't want to hold back.
The Practice.
Saturdays at 9 on 45.
Our second game of the day is just minutes away, but first, let's go to Angela Davis with a 5 Eyewitness News update.